ideas for great episodes and they come to fruition. And sometimes these ideas are generated by us. But I gotta say, we have a
And
better.
then sometimes you get episodes like the ones we're going to do today, where we
Yeah.
just kind of threw some stuff at the wall and are trying to make it work.
But I will say this episode, and I gotta say, this is a banger of an episode, if I do say so myself, and I am saying that myself. It is the Teves and Kid Phoenix versus podcast, and we're here, and our subject today was inspired in a way by Baby Sis, I guess. We have a 3-way text thread.
We do.
So the question originally was, and it was just an image. You're on a highway. The highway splits into two. One highway leads to Raccoon City. The other leads to Silent Hill, whatever that city is called. I always forget. Teves, help me out on that.
Silent Hill.
That the city's actually called Silent. Okay, well,
Yes,
I just feel stupid now.
rightly so.
God damn it! I've walked right into that. But anyway, so that got Teves and I thinking, what are some video game universes where we would prefer to live in, reside in? I gotta say, this is gonna be awesome. And talked about this with Teves. We have parameters, we have ground rules. We have 6 categories of video game to choose from. And in each of these scenarios, Teves has decreed, and I agree with him, that we will not be the protagonist in any of
No,
these universes.
no.
So if we say Resident Evil, we're saying we are John Doe, or I guess since we're African American, that would be Jerome Doe, maybe.
Wow.
We would not be Chris Redfield or Leon
Yeah,
Kennedy.
we
We're
would
just
not be the protagonist. We would not be the dude that is, loaded up with all the guns. We would just be the dude who, just your average person on the street.
just your average guy on the street, you know?
Just a dude. Just a dude trying to live his life, and that's
And
it.
whatever video game universe we choose, that's what we live in. We do have 6 categories here, and we're not going to go through them one by one. You'll learn as we go along. Let's kick it off with since we currently reside in the present day. Let's start with modern day.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about this a lot actually. And the universe that I would like to live in from a modern day perspective. So that's just, you're just walking outside and this is the universe. It's not fantasy, it's not anything crazy. I chose Street Fighter.
Why?
Okay, so here's my rationale. Street Fighter is the most one-to-one parallel for like not necessarily a normal life, but not too much crazy shit is gonna go down. It's not like I'm living in the Grand Theft Auto universe where I could die or get mugged for no reason. Street Fighter, like I'm on my way to work, and 2 people are just battling it out one on one, just on the street, fighting, as the game's title, Street Fighter. I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There is the possibility of a match of Street Fighter just breaking out while I'm waiting for the SEPTA train. So I'm already kind of living that life right now.
Okay.
Hold on.
So, okay.
Other parts about this. I happen to live in a state that has legalized gambling. So if some of these fights were to go on that kind of a scale, maybe I could make a little money, little Running Man type action, Maybe I want to
Wow.
throw down. Maybe I want to throw down on FanDuel, just like 2 dudes just like walking around. Obviously, this would have to be scheduled and all like that, but it's a fun universe. I wouldn't be doing any of the street fighting. The original Chun-Li stage. I would just be the dude just in the background, just buying my fish and bread for dinner. That's just me, and just a fight breaks out in front of me. That's fine. You have objections to this, I can tell.
No, I actually, okay, so in the greater context of Philly, I think it makes sense.
See?
Because you don't Okay, right now the problem Philadelphia is having is too much indiscriminate violence. All right,
Yes, it's one of Philadelphia's many problems, but yes.
and I think if people solved their problems via street fighting, so like it's just one on one, nobody else has to be involved, and the possibility of hurt bystanders is at a minimum. I say let's do it.
I mean, random Hadouken fireballs aside, where you just catch a stray. It's pretty. It's not. There's not a whole lot that you really have to worry about.
Yeah, but a Hadouken is like being punched is like being punched. You're not going to die.
I
I mean,
don't think.
unless you're standing in the path of a Shinko Hadouken, but then like who the hell? Why would you even be there? He charges it up for like 9 minutes.
I would debate that, like, getting hit with like a ball of energy. I think it's a little bit more than a punch. I feel like in real life it'd do some serious bodily damage. But hey, if you believe that, I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
Hey, I'm not going to say you're wrong either, but
If we have some physicists that listen to the podcast, maybe they can help us out with what the actual like force and not the psi, but you know what I mean, like that measurement of a force, and just figure that out. Like we need some legitimate intellectual educational knowledge on what a Hadouken fireball would actually do to the human body. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Teves, modern day, what are you going with?
well, see, here's the thing. I thought about a bunch of games that are set in modern times. So, like, I thought about your Grand Theft Auto,
Thefts.
and I've determined that those are probably not going to be the best. I mean, again, you want to keep indiscriminate violence to a minimum, right?
Yeah. We'll comment further on the GTA universe in a second. There is a lot there's more to choose from than I thought there would be.
So yeah, I'm really struggling with this one, but I think the best game with a modern timeline to live in would be Pokemon because
All right, make the case.
I mean, like it seems like being like okay, I'm not trying to be Ash Ketchum, right? I'm not trying to catch the ball and be the very best like no one ever was. All I'm trying to do is get a little help around. I feel like there's a lot of Pokemon who just might make my life just generally easier.
So Teebs wants to live in the Pokemon universe because he is a fan of slavery. That's what it sounds like to me. That's how this is coming off.
Okay, then fine. Listen, then I hope that all the
Teebs, supporter of slavery. Here we go.
I hope all the dog and pet owners around the nation that are listening to this understand that Kid Phoenix thinks that owners.
That's no okay. All right, calling dogs and cats slaves, I feel like that's a little bit too like what exactly is a dog or a cat gonna do that can like help your life, except for make you feel good because you have a friend for life. Like, it's not doing chores, not without opposable thumbs. It's like, what are we talking about here?
Listen, tell me life wouldn't be easier if you had an Alakazam or a Uri Geller around to help you psychically figure some stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
It would help with the writer's block, that is true. And I gotta say, Teves, if you had like a Pokemon in San Diego where you live when it's brownout season, I gotta say that's probably useful.
There's a Pokemon called a Swablu that just likes to keep things clean. Like, why wouldn't I just have one of those things now? If it sees dirt, it's just going to wipe it down. Like,
Okay.
why wouldn't I do that?
Based on the premise that the Pokemon is like that's what it just does naturally, all right, fine, I can see that. But you're not out here trying to like be a Pokemon tournament goer. Like these would be just like Pokemon to make your life more efficient, is what you're saying.
Now, listen, I'm not an egg guy, but Chansey lays a delicious egg every day. One egg a day, and they're enormous. You could feed an entire family with one Chansey in the mix.
But how quickly do you get sick of those eggs, though?
I mean, you might get sick of them, but you'll be alive to get sick of them.
That's true. All right. Can we discuss how the Grand Theft Auto universe would be 100% absolutely the worst modern day universe to live in?
Just
Like your head is on a swivel 24/7 365.
are we talking about the regular Grand Theft Auto world or Grand Theft Auto Online?
Let's say online because
That's
that's
total anarchy, and I need to get out of that city immediately.
your
People
head
are.
is on.
I could be at work one day, and a freaking boat could come flying through my 14th floor office window. A boat. That's wait. That's not true. You can take the subway in Grand Theft 4. You can take the
I
subway in Grand Theft 5, I'm pretty sure.
I was not aware. I see. This is I don't play too much Grand Theft Auto these days because they're all pretty much the same. But again, that's another topic for another
How
day.
dare you?
They all feel the same to me. It's ranking up there with Call of Duty in terms of like shit that feels the same every time a new one
Wow.
comes out. But you run the risk of getting mugged, carjacked, physically injured, and or killed like every day. Like, why wouldn't you just stay in your house? In the Grand Theft Auto universe, the best place for you to be is in your house.
True.
So
100%
what
true.
are we doing? There's no you could not pay me enough to live in the Grand Theft Auto universe.
Absolutely not. No, I could maybe like $1 million a day.
But then you're getting mugged for that $1 million.
That's true. That is true. That is a fact.
We have several other categories here. Tease, why don't you pick one?
So, looking amongst the categories, let's
I mean,
go with
all of these are great radio, so there's really no bad pick here.
Western or historical.
Okay, I feel like we may have the same answer,
Okay.
but go.
Well, it really kind of depends. Am I a black every person or
Well, yes, man, you're not race swapping in this particular scenario. Like you're Teebs, as you are right now.
okay, fine. Assassin's Creed Origins.
All right, we don't have the same answer. Okay, why Origins? I didn't even think about the Assassin's Creed universe.
It's ancient Egypt, bro. It's
Yeah,
one of the
all right.
few historical games I could play in and be all right.
Yeah,
I could
all right.
walk around and
You could
not get killed on contact.
you could literally walk around and not be, put in
Instantly murdered.
chains, instantly murdered, lynched, put in chains, any of that nonsense. You're sitting there. You're just an African king just walking around.
Right, exactly. Or just not a king, just a regular dude, just a regular shepherd, just trying to keep my flock alive, and
Are
that's it.
you afraid of one of Ezio's ancestors coming for you for some reason?
I'm not a
Maybe
Templar. What the hell is he bothering me for?
mistaken identity happens, man.
Well, mistaken identity could happen in any of these fictional universes.
That's
Why am
true.
I worried about that? I'm just tending. Listen, I'm just tending my flock. That's all I'm doing.
You're just
How
Teebs
am
the
I?
herder.
That's right. How am I running afoul of any Templars or assassins or anyone?
All right, I see your point, and I feel like I've played Origins for maybe like a good hour and a half, and is pretty stellar to just be like walking around and roaming ancient Egypt, and sometimes you'll just see a dude just like running around on a pyramid for no for an indiscriminate reason.
And that's fine. That's none of my business.
That is none of your
That's none
concern.
of my business. I don't care about that.
As 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 John Everyman in ancient Egypt, you're just like, well, somebody's going down, but I know it ain't me.
That's exactly right. And I'm glad that this guy is running around doing stuff. And
You're sitting there
and
like
then
he's doing the good work and just keeping the Templars honest.
listen, if I'm in ancient Egypt, there's a lot of stuff that I'm just keeping my head down and not worrying about it. Listen, I don't care. I'm just a shepherd.
Wow,
I'm just
wow.
tending my
He's
flock.
very, very powerful in his
I am
explanations.
just tending my flock. Who are those people with the stars of David? I don't know. That's not my
That's
concern right
not my
now.
business. That's not my
Not my.
concern.
Why are there locusts? I don't know anything about that. Okay, that is not my business. I'm here. Dude, I wonder if you can run into Moses in Assassin's Creed Origin.
I don't think it ever had any real factual religious context. At least I don't think so. I haven't played enough Assassin's Creed games. All right, we definitely had a different answer because we did Western and historical, just kind of blend the two, give us more options. But yeah, I didn't go that way. I went with Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I am a fan of the Old West for whatever reason. I think it started with Back to the Future 3. Certainly didn't start with any, John Wayne movies. I, yes, it's at least post Civil War. It's not as bad as like 1790 whatever. Like this is at least 1870. Black people have been free for quite some time. Granted, I'm in the Midwest, so depending on how frisky the civilians want to be, it could be really bad for me. I don't know. I'm willing to take that chance. But like you, I'm just out here just trying to make a living. Maybe I'm a bartender. Maybe I'm tending the stables. I'm just sitting there, I'm just minding my own business, doing my job, getting my $10 to $15 a day tending to the stables. And I'm just going home, maybe stopping off at the saloon for some poker, maybe a beer, some sarsaparilla perhaps. And I'm calling it a day. I'll just do the same thing tomorrow morning.
Exactly right.
Very chill kind of a day. You know, I'll brave I'll brave the Midwest. I'll brave the the Midwest of the Old West. Because I don't think it wouldn't be perfect, but it wouldn't be absolutely terrible either. There are worse historical slash Western video game universes that I could put myself in. Hell, I could put myself in like Civilization 2 or something.
Mm.
Screw that.
Yeah, Civ wouldn't work. There's too many random catastrophes.
Yeah, this is yeah. Like just going through the like who knows what's gonna happen from one age to the next if I'm just Joe Dude, like maybe I'm just not ready for it. Like in Red Dead Redemption 2, this is the world, this is the universe, this is the time period I'm in. Clearly I'm used to it and I know how to do everything my day-to-day life. There's no surprises.
I love it.
Now just going from one end to the other end, let's go futuristic.
Let's do it.
uh Again, more ideas than I thought there were going to be. I went with Mass Effect.
Mass Effect's a good choice.
If it's, I will say, will probably disagree with me on this. It's the closest thing to Star Trek. There's the sense
I
of
mean, well,
it's
there's
okay.
there's Star Trek Online, which is actual Star Trek.
Yeah, but
But
we can't use something that's like licensed and like we can't do like Star Trek the video game based on Star Trek the TV show. Otherwise I would have went with Star Trek, but we
oh,
can't
did
do
we
that.
say that? Is that what
I
we said? All right,
that
okay,
was
that's
something
fine.
I said. But from a fictional standpoint, Mass Effect is pretty close. Like there's that hope of community and spreading across the galaxy, meeting alien races. Sure, maybe I come across an alien that doesn't find me all that intriguing or appealing or cooperative. I take that chance, but I feel like I would have to be in a pretty high up position to like really have to deal with some of the, criminal elements of it. And I'm just Joe Dude making a living. Again, bartending, doing whatever I got to do. Maybe I'm just working in the shop, repairing ships, just chilling.
Okay, see, but here's the problem. You would be a human in this world, I'm assuming.
Yeah, again, just one to one, like not race swapping.
Okay, part of the deal with the Mass Effect series is that all the other alien races shit on humans and think that they suck and are not ready to do anything, and that's kind of so like you're not going to
Teves,
be respected. Yes, I know. So
Teves,
it's exact.
I'm a
Yeah,
black
yeah.
man in the
Say it.
United States of
Say the
America in the
thing.
year of our Lord 2025. It's something that I've lived with my entire life. I think I'm used to it. I think I can handle it.
Okay. Well, I to that I say, what if you could have all that stuff, like all the discrimination, all that stuff, but also you get cool cybernetic implants. That's where I want to be.
Okay, that's that.
Cyberpunk 2077.
So would your universe be fully developed and bug free?
You have not played. Listen, the game is 5 years old.
This
It
is
is
just me.
fine.
It's just me shitting on Cyberpunk yet again on the podcast.
Listen, well, first of all, you need to just try it again because the game's great.
All right.
When you try to do something that big, of course, there's going to be some problems, but I will say that right now the game's in a great spot and you should go check it out.
Sure, it only took 5 years.
Yeah. Well, no, it was fine. Like, it's been fine for like the past 2 or 3 years. So,
All right, but go ahead, Cyberpunk.
yeah. So it's basically the world we got now. Only apparently all forms of drugs are legal, but you don't even need drugs
I like
because
that already.
but you don't even need drugs because you can do the whole strange days thing where people can record whatever happened to them and like you could play it back in your own brain. So like if
I don't know.
so
I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that.
so like yeah, you might be so you might be totally poor and unable to do anything or have any experiences, but at least you could play the thing in your mind that lets you know what it's like to feel and be which is way more than we got, which is way more hope than we got now in
Yeah.
America, to tell you the truth. But yeah,
So
cyberpunk.
in the Cyberpunk universe, like what role would you serve? Teeves John Doe.
What would my job be in the cyberpunk universe? Well,
Like, I don't even see. This is why I don't know much about like the Cyberpunk universe. So you kind of have to help me out here. Like, what are some of the roles? Like, what are
think
the
of any
classes?
think of any freaking movie you've ever seen with Keanu Reeves in it, and like that's pretty much gonna be cyberpunk.
So you're basically so
Think
it's
of Johnny Mnemonic. You could be a courier. You could
why
be
was that the first Keanu Reeves movie that you
It was the
referenced?
first Keanu Reeves movie that I could reference that I could think of that was cyberpunk, and clearly the people that made that game watched it a lot.
God, yeah.
You could be uh, you could be a okay. I would be some kind of artist. I'd be a
Yeah,
brain. I'd be
there's
yeah.
artists in Cyberpunk.
I'd be a brain dance editor. That's what I would be. Okay.
All right, I'm actually looking this up. Brain. Yeah, all right, that's not bad. That's not. I can see you doing that. That
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
That checks. That
I'd be a
tracks.
freelance brain dance editor. Now we're gonna go post-apocalyptic.
Here we go. I'm gonna be in my bag here. You're not ready for this. Go ahead.
Let's hear it. Let's hear
No,
it.
you got it. You got it first. Go ahead. This is your jam. You kick this thing off.
So the best, well, there's not really a good place
Listen,
to be.
the worst absolutely is Fallout not the worst post-apocalyptic universe to live in?
It is not. If you're in a good vault, I think it's fine.
What's the percentage of vaults that are good though? That's the problem. Wasn't it like 20% of vaults were only 20% were good?
Okay, so Fallout is out.
Fallout is totally out. Are you kidding me?
Borderlands is out.
Borderlands is out, but fuck, that would be fun. Because again, I don't know, I don't know if we would be vault hunters in the Borderlands universe. I
No, we
doubt
wouldn't.
it.
We'd just be Joe Dude. But I mean, if you're just Joe Dude living in Sanctuary,
I mean, yeah, there are more treacherous places to live in.
or if you work for one, no, 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 Borderlands is no good.
What if you worked? What if you worked for one of the gun companies? What if you worked for Atlas? That's right. I said Atlas because Atlas is the
Yeah,
best
but
gun
then,
manufacturer in the game.
yeah, but then, like some random dude is just gonna come in and murk your entire building one day. That's
Yeah,
no
just to
good.
get the new technology. Yeah, that's fine. That tracks.
They're a post-apocalyptic game where people aren't just trying to kill you all the time.
I don't think there is.
Okay, then I'm gonna go with State of Decay.
That's not a bad choice, but you have to be. I feel like you have to be real careful who you partner up with.
That's true, but that's going to be true in any post-apocalypse. And I say State of Decay over Last of Us is because Last of Us has the the factions are way too well organized. Like I'm just
Yeah,
going to be sitting there minding my business, and like 60 dudes are going to roll on my little house. Like
like
no, no, thank you.
the entire Washington Liberation Force just shows up at your
Yeah,
house
they're
one
all
day.
going to, yeah, 10,000 strong. They're going to be up in my.
Abby and Isaac just pulling up, murking everything and everyone you love, and
I'm
then
gonna
just like
have,
sit
yeah.
and be home in time for cornflakes.
I'm gonna have wolves all up in my rhododendrons. It's no good.
Jesus. I don't know. Again, with
Oh,
State of Decay,
besides, and also in State of Decay, I can drive. I can drive an automobile.
you can drive in State of Decay. Like
I can drive automobiles.
there are
I can
functioning automobiles in State of
drive
Decay.
automobiles.
Very important.
If the zombies get too hot, I can just get in my automobile and drive one out of there. No problem.
For those of you that haven't played State of Decay, number one, give it a shot. It's one of the better post-apocalyptic slash survival horror games out there, and like, I want to say they're still doing DLC for it. I don't think so, but I'll
I,
check the tapes. But
there's still stuff happening with the game, but it is a pretty old game.
the
But the
Juggernaut edition that we got is fantastic. Like,
Juggernaut edition is fun.
I just haven't been in there in a long time, and I feel like I would have to start a whole new game because what people don't know is that I believe even when you stop playing the game, things still happen in the universe that you're playing in.
Exactly.
So that
But
makes it a
now
little bit rough.
but now they do things where like they'll have events happen where like okay, for the next 2 hours all zombies are poisonous, or
What is that bullshit?
something like that, or for the next 2 hours all zombies got armor. So deal with that.
That's when you just get in the Jeep and drive away.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. If you've never gotten in your apocalypse mobile that you've reinforced and just driven through like 25 zombies, I don't know. You're just letting the best
You're
of
just
life pass you by.
you're just not you just don't like fun. Why don't
Don't
people
like
like
fun.
fun?
I don't know.
My post-apocalyptic, and you're gonna have to bear with me as I out. I went with The Division.
Yeah, I figured you might go with the division.
And here's why. So people might think that I would I would die like right after the dollar flu epidemic. But here's the thing. No, I wouldn't, because this thing broke out on Black Friday. What do you and me do on Black Friday? Are either of us out in the stores like handing people cash or credit cards? No, we're in our houses in our pajamas on Amazon. So I would survive the initial outbreak. And
Yeah,
then I
but then you
hear
got the second part is the hard part, though, bro. Like when people start roaming the countryside looking for
So that's when Joe Dude, would probably look for the nearest division recruitment center, and I would just get a job as a division agent. And here's the thing: in a post-apocalyptic society, there are a couple of things that I have to have, and being a division agent allows for those things. I have a job that gives me income. I'll have a roof over my head, and I'll have government supplied munitions and rations. I'm okay living in that world. Yes, apparently I will have to go on missions every once in a while, and I will have to trust other John and Jane dudes. But if my play on the actual game is any indication, I have a pretty good idea who I want to partner up with. Shout out to friend of the podcast, Corey.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fine.
It's not the best post-apocalyptic, but it's the one that I feel I would last the longest in. Like, I don't think I'm doing much in a zombie apocalypse situation, which we'll get into in a second. I think the division. I think I would be okay. I'm not saying I would live to see 60, but I'd hang in there for a couple years.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're probably gonna do better than like
Seriously, Ubisoft. By the way, Division 3. Come on, let's have it already.
seriously Microsoft State of Decay 3. Let's
Yeah,
do it
come
already.
on. Jesus. Sorry, I interrupted a point, but go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I had no point. You can go
Okay,
right ahead.
so the next one, let's just do it since you kind of mentioned State of Decay. Let's just fucking get survival horror out of the way. Let's just do it now.
Okay, you can go first.
Okay, when it comes to survival horror, there's no perfect universe. There's only the universe that I feel like I may survive the longest in. And given the fact that I've watched so many programs related to this particular universe, I went with Resident Evil just because I have so much common sense knowledge of what to do, what not to do, how to survive in such a scenario. I'm not making a whole lot of noise. I'm stealthing around as much as I can. And my whole idea is to get out of town before the nuke hits. And I feel like I wouldn't take too many chances. There are a select couple of people that I would absolutely 100% have to check on and see if they could make it out with me. But outside of that, not taking too many chances. I'm not going to be out here looking for all the firearms, all the bullets. I'm not trying to play inventory management. I'm just getting what I need and getting the fuck out of Dodge.
That's easy to say, but
Easy to
not
say, not so easy to do. I feel
not
like I
so
would have the
easy.
we have the knowledge to work through this kind of thing. Like we have zombie apocalypse plans, you and I.
We have zombie apocalypse plans, but how about a world where you never really have to worry about zombies too much?
Okay. Yeah, show me that survival horror game with no zombies that you or I could possibly get away with.
If you just have to be Joe Dude,
Yes. Don't you dare say Silent Hill. Don't you dare say Silent Hill. Don't you dare say The Evil Within.
I'm gonna. We can circle back to the evil within, but
Please, let's do.
Dredge would be my choice to just be
I.
Joe Dude.
Oh man, I totally forgot about. Okay, Teves, fun, tell the fine people about the universe that is Dredge from the
23.
2023.
Yeah. You're just a fisherman on a boat
Yeah,
looking for
that's
fish.
that's it. That's all you're doing.
Sometimes the fish are evil. Sometimes the fish lead to, a sinister plot. But I'm not a fisherman. I'm just a dude that lives on an island. That's all I do. I just live on the island. I eat some fish sometimes. I might I might be a boat repair guy. I might
Maybe
just
you'd be
be
selling
regular.
bait.
I might just be a regular handyman, just going from people's houses, or I might just be, just a dude that works at the lighthouse. I could be a lot of different things.
Okay, I gotta say, for simplicity's sake, I don't know if we can get any better than that. I don't think there's a better survival horror scenario. Very very clean. Uh, okay, wait a second. Do the evil fish? Do they roll up to Greater Morrow, which is the coastal town that the game is centered
No,
around?
the only way the fish can mess with you is if you literally go to where the fish are.
Yeah, so if you leave the fish alone, you're good.
Just don't go on a boat.
Oh, that's easy. That's no problem.
Just leave the boat alone.
Just leave the boats for the other. Leave the boating and the fishing to the professionals.
Exactly.
Much like collard greens, much like mac and cheese, leave it to the professionals.
Exactly.
Lastly, wait. Let's circle back to the evil within.
So the evil within is based on a technology that lets people link their subconscious minds like the internet. Okay, so of course they hook it up to a psychotic dude. But what
Of
if you
course
just
they do.
of course, but what if they just hooked it up to some dude who was just constantly in a state of euphoria and you hooked into that? I mean, that'd be pretty nice. That'd be
That
pretty
would be
dope.
that would be pretty
Maybe.
dope. If you're hooking into Sid 6.6, I mean that's not great. But if you're hooking into like Simple Rick, and you wouldn't know that Rick and Morty reference, but there are people that would get it. If you're hooking into Simple Rick, like that's great. That's awesome. That's nothing but euphoria and good memories the whole time.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe your bodily fluids get harvested for Simple Rick's wafers, but other than that, you're good.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I have to show you the Simple Rick episodes, but anyway. Lastly, let's talk fantasy. This is
Let's
a
talk about
this
it.
is a wide ranging category with endless possibilities. And this is going to sound really basic. This is going to sound very like Cosmo on a Sunday brunch. But I went with Super Mario Brothers. And
Why?
there would have to be some race swapping a little bit because I don't think I would be just like a human in the Super Mario Brothers universe. I'd probably be Kid Phoenix the Toad, kinda, and just living in the Mushroom Kingdom, minding my own business, doing Toad stuff. Maybe some carts come around, and there's some racing that may need to happen, and maybe I'm just chilling. I just have my little shop. Sometimes Mario comes around for games of chance with the three screens, like, and I have to give him prizes. But that's fine. I can live with that. It seems like a simple yet fun universe that I could survive in and have a pretty decent life in. There are there I'm it is not without treacherous and dangerous situations. If the princess gets kidnapped, then the whole shit goes to hell
To hell. And she gets kidnapped all the time.
all the
All the
goddamn
time.
time.
So listen, also not to mention that when the princess is kidnapped, there's bombs and bullet bills flying all over the place. Like just indiscriminate ballistics all over the
Sticks.
place.
Mario doesn't jump on them and disarm them. He just jumps over him. Yeah, Mario and I are gonna have to have a conversation because that's some bullshit right there. Do you have any idea how much I paid for bullet bill insurance and the fuckers don't work? I get no payment on that. I get very little pay. The payment in bullet bill insurance. I can't rebuild my house with that bullshit. It's like having hurricane insurance in the southern states.
It's the Mushroom Kingdom.
It's expensive, and you can't do shit with the payout.
Mushroom Kingdom. Can't you just regrow like your house?
I suppose I would have that knowledge and know how.
Okay. So my answer is also similarly Nintendo themed. I'm gonna go with Legend of Zelda, and
I was hoping you would go with that.
I'm gonna go with Legend of Zelda because if I'm just Joe Dude, now, okay, now it depends on the game.
Depends on the Zelda game.
If Ganon does get his hands on the Triforce, it's gonna be pretty rough for me.
It's gonna be pretty rough. You don't not want to be living in Link to the Past.
You definitely don't want to be living in the dark world in Link to the Past. You don't want to be living in the Ganon controlled world in Ocarina of Time.
You probably don't even want to be anywhere near Link Between Worlds either.
So, but unless he has the whole Triforce, the biggest thing that you have to worry about is some kid coming in your house occasionally breaking all your ceramics.
Breaking all of your ceramics and stealing everything out of your treasure chest.
Stealing all of your worldly possessions. But that's fine. I will just not hide my money in the grass and in invisible treasure chests. That
But
problem is solved.
in the Link universe, there are evil creatures that you have to deal with from time to time if you're just Joe Teebs.
But if you live in town and it's not Ocarina of Time and it's not nighttime,
It's not nighttime.
because there's those mummies that walk around the town when you're adult Link.
Right. I'm going to get
Other
back to
than
something,
that,
but keep going.
but again, that's the worst timeline. That's the timeline where Ganon has won.
I have an outlandish question since we're talking about fantasy.
Let's
And
hear it.
I don't know, maybe it fits into something else, but like if you're Joe Dude in the Castlevania universe, is that the worst thing?
I was thinking about this. First, is Castlevania fantasy? Okay, sure, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
I mean,
But
Dracula is a
is it horror or is it? But anyway.
yeah, that we're splitting hairs here.
All right. So yeah, if you happen to live your entire life between appearances of Castlevania,
Right,
between when the castle shows up,
right.
like let's say the castle shows up every 100 years, and you were born right after it disappeared, and you only live to be like 60, you're good.
You're good. You're
Well,
golden.
I don't know how golden you are. You still have to live in like 15th century Europe.
15th
Not
century
a great
Europe, which
look.
is not great, not great, not fantastic.
But still, like you're not. But if Castlevania shows up, you could be carried off by any number of weird ass, you know, mutant demonic creatures that can just.
Also, if you're Joe Dude in Simon's Quest, for example, like you just cannot go outside in the nighttime.
There's people that hang out at night in Simon's Quest. There's only like four of them, but they do hang out.
None of them you want to talk to.
That's probably true.
I actually have a dark horse for futuristic.
Let's hear it.
Mega Man.
You always okay. Let's hear it. You're always trying to shoehorn Mega Man into this conversation.
I'm just saying, if you're okay, in the similar to Castlevania, in the periods where Dr. Wily isn't fucking shit up, I gotta say, it's not. I don't think it's the worst universe. Like, how often there have been what? All right, maybe it is kind of the not that great because Wily has been fucking shit up for how many games now? 13.
He has been effing things up for quite some time.
It's like, can't we put that guy in like prison or something?
Yeah, they keep trying, but
They keep trying, yeah.
Busting out. So
I'm trying to think. What are some other outliers that we may not have mentioned? I don't know if I want to be Joe Dude in the Metroid universe. Like, let's just rule that out.
right.
It's like I don't need Ridley coming after my ass. Like, no thanks. Let's see. We covered the idea that like anything historical, like you really have to be careful because we're not race swapping in the scenario.
Right.
See, futuristic. We got some survival hard. No way am I living in the Silent Hill universe. No fucking chance.
Listen, I'm telling
no
you.
chance.
For
Zero
Resident Evil,
chance.
it's better than the Resident Evil universe.
let's see, other fantasy based games that I may be not considering. Not fantasy. I'm definitely like going off in different directions. Contra is definitely out. That's not happening. Skyrim for like a fantasy universe. Elden Ring, stuff like that.
Again, yeah, Skyrim is fine, but again, you're in 14th century Europe.
You're in 14th century Europe. I don't know if you want to be Joe Dude in the God of War universe
Definitely not.
because at any point in time, Kratos is just going to come down and just like do all kinds of damage that you as Joe Dude have to repair.
Exactly.
I thought about Horizon as a futuristic and or post-apocalyptic.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it. I just don't get me wrong. Any video game with Lance Reddick, I wouldn't be a part of it. But I just think that going from that split between the modern and the futuristic, where we're just back and we're just like, holy shit, those are big ass metallic dinosaurs. I don't know if I want to be fucking with that. There's just too much that could go wrong if you're Joe Dude. It's like you're just walking the trail, you're just trying to get turkeys and shit for like new skins or new winter gear, and all of a sudden you just come across a Ravager and you're out of electric arrows. And you're just like, well, shit, I had a good run.
Yeah, I know all the words that you're saying. They are definitely human words. I am just not familiar with any of these folks.
Hey, if anybody on socials has ideas of like universes that they would live in, we're open to suggestions. You can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, video uploads weekly with full video. The hashtag is still going on strong. Teebs, hashtag Teebs for Artist Alley. I understand Teebs did another round of begging this week, so hopefully something happens.
I did. It's not looking good. I've tried, but
We're
we're staying hopeful. It's not looking great, but
and we're still hopeful for
yes.
a panel. Waiting for the call. We're waiting for Eddie Ibrahim to give us the call up from AAA, so we can play in the big leagues, and we'll keep everybody on top of that. But until next week, we are gonna get out of here. Teeves and Kid Phoenix, we are outie.
Oh, I feel for my brother. And as time passes by, I see you're not satisfied.